Hi, welcome to my channel. This is Captain Shade. If you like any of the content, please subscribe. But let's get down to the video at hand today, and that is my favorite manga series star, Alita. Alita Battle Angel. She is amazing, and the film is beyond anything I could hope for. It's 5 out of 5 for me. But let's get down to the rise of Alita. If you don't know who Alita is, she's based off a Japanese manga called Battle Angel Alita, and that started in the 90s. Early 90s, right around 92, 93. Right now, Alita, you probably heard of something called the Alita Army, and we're going to get into that later in the video. But let's just break down to why Alita is really one of the stamps, like the poster child for what a manga to screen series should look like. And because all the rest of them are really horrible, and we're going to break those down right now, because this is how Alita is who she is. So the first one on the list is Dragon Ball Evolution. Dragon Ball Evolution was universally probably the most horrible manga to screen ever. Dragon Ball, the series as an anime, is probably the biggest ever. It's so, I think Dragon Ball started in '89 through manga, then hit screens in '90s, and then just skyrocketed. And it's usually just the same story recycled with a couple of movies with like Brawly, and now with tournament they have going on, and their card game is in the top 5 right now in the card game realm. So Dragon Ball's doing fine, but the manga to screen was horrible. The Bomb Report reported it as 1.6 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes reported it as 15%. IMDb reported it 2.5 out of 10. And the most harshest, in my point of view, was the Google users at 20%. This was released in 2009, the same year as Avatar, which Avatar was the biggest grossing movie of all time at that time. And it was completely amazing. It was James Cameron who made that movie. It was an amazing movie. But the budget for the movie for Dragon Ball Evolution was $30 million. The box office got $58.2 million, and it didn't make back its money after taxes. So, that's really bad. The movie was horrible in general, and that was really the staple point from manga to screen at the time, because you can't really count Avatar, because Avatar wasn't a manga, but it would be actually pretty awesome if it was, but it's not. So this was the poster child for manga to screen movies. It was horrible. Absolutely horrible. I seen it bad. Just bad. After that, the most notable one was Ghost in the Shell. That was 2017. That was 2 years ago. It was released March 31st of 2017, and the box office only netted 169.8 million, with the budget being 110 million. It didn't make back its budget, really. I mean, give or take. I'm not going to bust down the math after taxes, but it didn't. It was rated by Metric 52%, Rotten Tomatoes 43%, IMDb 6.3 out of 10. The Google users are favorable more than the critics are, because it's just normal people, not people with agendas and stuff like that, which really plagues things, in my opinion, like Rotten Tomato and all the other critics. But Google users rated it 78%. Ghost in the Shell was a letdown, absolutely, and it was also starred by Scarlett Johansson, which at this time, this was before Endgame, I believe Infinity Wars came as well. So that, and plus her following, not only her female but male following, which is line stretches across the fucking universe. She had the following that people wish for. She's a good-looking woman, smart, and can really sell on the screen. And when this came out, it was just really bad. It was really badly executed. It didn't live up to the manga or the manga styled movies that they made that were more of a, I don't even know what you would call them, but they're like anime-ish style, but more high tech. When it comes to it just wasn't there. But this became the new stamp for manga to screen. Like, it's like, ugh, it just can't happen. Like, it just can't happen. Then James Cameron came on, the guy who did Avatar in 2009, became the biggest grossing movie of all time, was unseated, unfortunately, by Endgame, which wasn't that good of a movie, in my personal opinion. I'm a super Marvel fan. I love Marvel. But it just wasn't that good. But the best part that saved that movie, in my opinion, was Captain America using Thor's hammer. That was the shish kebabs. That was awesome. That was amazing. But this is what makes Alita the best, is James Cameron did it, and the CGI work that he did in Avatar was beyond. The CGI work that was done in Alita was beyond Avatar, in my personal opinion. It was just amazing. It was absolutely amazing. And the story was so crisp. You could follow very easily. It was just incredible. These are the ratings for... Remember, this has changed dramatically from Dragon Ball, the time of Dragon Ball Evolution. Remember, politics are in it now. The PC group is at its all peak in movies and all this. Disney's on the buying really hiatus that is. They're eating everything up. This is prior Disney in what was 2019. So Alita's ratings for review were 4.4 out of 5. Rotten Tomatoes, which at this time, in my opinion, and miles of people's opinions, is inspired now by people like Disney and the PC culture. They rate it 61%. IMDb rated it 7.4 out of 10, and Google users, who usually favor movies better than critics, rated it 95%, which was pretty good. It was released January 31st in 2019. The box office gained $404.9 million, and the budget for this was $200 million. It did net back its budget thanks to Blu-ray sales, which took on a life of its own, and I'll get down to that in a second. But what a lot of people don't know about Alita is Alita was announced in actually 2003, but it was delayed due to Cameron working on Avatar. And a lot of people don't know that, and I'm happy that that didn't happen. And because, first off, a lot of people didn't know who Alita even was back then. There was just so much other things happening. You had Lord of the Rings. You had, oh my God, you can just keep going. You know, CGI at that time was incredibly bad. CGI for Spy Kids. You had what was it? The Star Wars franchise, Phantom Menace. I think came out in like '99, if I'm not mistaken. Just look at Jar Jar. Like, really. I like the role of Jar Jar. I think he's a good comic relief for a film like that. You know, Jar Jar Binks. Which also, that movie is my favorite Star Wars movie, kind of, because it gave us Qui-Gon, oh my God, oh my God, I can't even say his name, he's my favorite Jedi, Qui-Gon Jinn, who I'm still trying to get his pop, but they're just so expensive. But, moving on, if you looked at things like Clone Wars, if you looked at Sith, the CGI just wasn't there. And that's why they're known as the three, like, lesser than, like, people just write them off, you know. The original films were a beautiful masterpiece, in my opinion. They were just beautiful. And then we had Force Awakens, which was incredible from a graphic standpoint. Story, you expected it because it was Disney. Excuse me. The Last Jedi was a complete miserable. it was miserable with this failure. It was a failure from a story standpoint. Graphically, it was amazing. Rogue One was incredible. I don't know about this next one, but it's come out in December this year, and I don't know. But getting back to Alita, I'm happy it didn't get made in 2003 because this would have been just another horrible flop. The thing with this is the CGI was on point, and and it didn't have that much of a build up because there wasn't really commercials for it. You didn't see advertisements for it really at all, and a lot of people were just who were in the manga community didn't really know who it was, and they just came back from Ghost in a Shell a year ago, give or take year and a half, and they were kind of disappointed. And I'm not making excuses for it. Like, really, I don't want to make excuses for it. Liga can stand on her own 2 feet and dick wag all day. That's just how it is. But people just, I guess, didn't want another manga to screen film because they're all letdowns. They really are. They don't meet the hype. But when I saw the Alita the movie commercials when you go to the theater, because I go to the theater every week, and I was like, wow, man, this is awesome. Like, this is great. And I went to the first showing, and I was blown away. Absolutely blown away. And when it comes to the rise of Alita, the fan base just grew and grew. And it became pretty big over here. I think it grossed, 70, almost 80 million here. For manga to screen film for us, that's great. That is amazing. It made it way better over in Japan and China. That was its saving grace for the budget. However, for us, something else happened in Alita, which was the PC group came after the fans. Dominantly left-leaning people today, came after the fan base. They didn't like Alita, and I actually have to put this out that she was compared to Captain Marvel, which to me wasn't a fair comparison, but it was there, and people always compare them to because they came out around the same time. Captain Marvel being the super feminist, she hates, basically white guys, and she says stupid shit all the time. And when it came to Alita, people were kind of shocked because it was different. It was a relief. It wasn't that whole feminist bullshit. It wasn't that whole So when it came to the Alita army was something special. And we all, when the movie was just getting done, in theaters, I actually saw the movie twice in theaters because it was just that good. And people brought to see the movie were like, what the hell is this? This is amazing. And that was the general conception of people who probably wouldn't have ever watched the manga to screen film. And excuse me, just 1 second. I'm sorry, I had to mute my television. But getting back to it, when people brought their friends and stuff, and they were just blown away. So what happened after this is that the Alita Army hashtag, we were attacked big time by the media and by other actresses because the films were being compared to, at the time, Disney's. Because now Alita is Disney's, but Captain Marvel, which was again a bad comparison in my point of view, but they attacked us because of the demographic. They was like, oh, it's because it's white males again. That bullshit fucking line that they always use. Like, if you go to the Joker movie, you look at it right now, it's actually the perfect comparison. Um, it's an amazing movie. I saw it in theaters. It's incredible. That's Oscar acting right there. That's Oscar worthy acting in that film. I loved it. But the media still to this day is trashing that movie. Just trashing it. And again, the white guy thing, they just come out with these crazy statements. Like, if you go to watch that film, white guys are going to get, invigorated with violent feelings, and they're going to throw Joker paint and kill people in the malls and all this. I'm like, what the fuck? Like, get the fuck out of here. Like, really? Really? But this is the stuff that we have to deal with today. But the difference with Alita is that it was a woman. It signaled a different type of person that is now getting more relevant as time goes by, and that is the digisexual, which is a person who, if you don't know what digisexual is a person who just bangs machines. They just machines, sex bots, things like that. And that's what they were trying to really say this was about, was men, gross men, white men, and all this stuff with banging machines and shit. And it's just, no, it wasn't that. It was seeing a really good character who was played, by the way, by a Mexican woman, Spanish woman, Rosa Salazar, who's an amazing actress, by the way. So they couldn't use what are they, cast washing and stuff like that, like a manga series girl, right? And, it was just really funny to read a lot of the hateful comments that people would post about the illegal army. And I think some of it, because I don't want to contradict myself, but there was a digisexual element to it where people sympathized with the machine that Rosa Salazar played, and it just made it kind of cool, Like, if you weren't on the fence about bots before, and then you watch that film, you're like, yeah, I fuck a robot. Yeah, if it looked like that, yeah. Yeah. Shit. But the rise of Alita just kept going. And when Alita's army came out, which is just the fan base, and it came to us buying Blu-rays to make back the money that the movie lost, which it did heavily, and to convince the studios at the time, which wasn't Disney, it was, I believe, Warner Brothers. I'm not too sure. I will check that right now. It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. I can't find it right now. 20th Century Fox. There you go. Disney did consume 20th Century Fox. They do own it now. And everyone knows that Disney's on a buying hiatus. It's ridiculous. I think the only thing they haven't brought yet was DC. They basically own everything else. They even own, I think, 40% of Hulu too. And they have Disney Plus coming out and all that. So they own a lot. They own a lot. But getting back to it, to the DVD sales, the Blu-ray sales, that was what the illegal army really came into effect, because another understatement from the illegal fan base and what these people didn't understand when they were making fun of us was the illegal fan base had very, very deep pockets. We're the manga community, we're the anime community, we buy this shit. It's just us. And what kick-started this whole Blu-ray race off was Rosa Salazar in a video saying, buy those Blu-rays, baby. And that was taken as, oh my god, if we buy Blu-rays, we could get a sequel. And she would tease that in multiple interviews and things like this. So, um, with the sales of the regular DVDs, it was ranked number one in July 28th, 2019, regular DVD sales, which they don't really sell well anymore because everyone usually just buys the Blu-rays, is they sold in their week 3 release was 101,000 units. Of that, up to July 28th, total spending for them was 1.7 million. Then to the last updated version was August 18th, 2009. It was dropped from rank 1 to rank 14. Ooh, excuse me. Total units sold that month were 207,000. And altogether for the DVDs, just regular DVDs, it was 3.6 million. That's a lot, especially for DVDs. Blu-ray sales, which are beggar DVDs, beggar resolution. In July 28th of 2019, it was also number one. August 4th, 2019, it was number one, while its DVD counterpart was number two. And August 11th, the DVD section dropped down to 14th. The Blu-rays dropped down to 4. And on the 18th, it held at 14 with a lot less units sold on the DVDs. But they were still continuing to sell well for the Blu-rays. The Blu-rays totaled out to 15.9 million. So adding both of them together is over $20 million in DVD revenue. So they sold millions of units of both Blu-rays and this, but I don't think they included the special packs. I don't know if they did. Probably. Like the exclusives from like Amazon and shit. Again, this was being compared to Captain Marvel, which was unfair because Captain Marvel had a major franchise behind it. I mean, the Marvel franchise isn't nothing to mess with. And that really helped it out a lot. Like, a lot. Because the Captain Marvel movie wasn't that great. It was, a filler. That's really what it was. It was just a filler. And she wasn't barely even used in Endgame, which was stupid. But, again, it was just a filler. And there was so much controversy around that film. Like, so much. And I'll do a comparison video of them two in high detail, because I'm kind of all over the place with this one. So, but the DVD sales and Blu-ray sales are very strong, especially as of last month. I mean, still holding at 14th, and then they raised 6% in sales during the last recorded release that they recorded. Their grossing, so it's still selling, and it's selling well. So, when it comes to the Alita Army and it comes to all this, it's just the perfect storm for a sequel. It's a perfect rise up from the ground. I mean, I just wish it had more exposure. They would invest more in, commercials. Oh my God, Alita this, because there's a lot out there, like a lot of exclusive things. For if you look at the Logan DVD special, it comes with Alita Alita Battle Angel trading cards, which I thought was strange because I never seen that before, and that came out with that. Walmart has an exclusive Funko with it's like a miniature keychain Funko stuff like that they had, but I wish they did a lot more, because this movie should have been a lot bigger than it was. But again, it's a lost gem. Like the manga is a lost gem because a lot of people never even heard of it. And the film now has ignited the flame of this, and now with the, oh my God, what's it called? I'm like so lost for words today. Um, oh my god, the signature thing you signed. Well, that has already passed its limit and is moving over 80,000 signatures to get a sequel, to get at least a response. You know, and they needed was 75,000, and they got over 80, and it's still moving, and the Blu-rays are still selling, so that's really good. Um, as far as our other merchandise goes, as manga, it's really expensive and it's rare, especially if you have original print. Like I got the original print, first manga, which I'm going to be doing a lot of on this channel, as well as other things. But when it comes to that, it's just really expensive, and for the original prints, and they're getting even more expensive. Like I paid $5 for the number one original print, Alita Last Order Angel Reborn. I bought that for $5 from the UK because it's really hard to get them in America because a lot of people threw these away. They didn't keep them. Just like the comic book series. Yes, there was a comic book series for Alita. That's like impossible to find. And for me, being a comic book hunt guy, I mean, I go to the stores, the boxes, like, ugh. You know, I've never seen one. And her stuff is just it's getting expensive. If you're looking to get into the manga series, I would just buy the box set, which is like $100 on Amazon. You might get it cheaper on eBay, but I would go through Amazon because it's a lot better through them because of their God, I'm so lost for words today. But through their service, they just have better service than eBay, especially their return service. That's what I was trying to say. And you get the box set for around $103, $98 if you're lucky. That's the best way to get into it for me. Or unless you want to buy book by book like I'm doing, because I'm waiting for the best deals to come out. Because people sometimes just like, all right, let's just get this out of the way, and they'll sell it for a very low number. I'm just like, boom, I'm right there. Like I've just brought one last night. It was for charity, and it was another book for $5. And I was like, I'm there, and you just gotta do stuff like that if you want to get a good collection on the cheap. So that's it for me in this video. If you like the video, hit that like button. If you want to listen to more content from my channel, hit that subscribe button, and I'll see you in the next one. Thank you.